New York, this is Wednesday, August 17th, 447 days until the 2012 presidential election. My thanks to David Schuster for filling in during my sciatica crisis. Moving a little lower anatomically, having already physically threatened the chairman of the Federal Reserve, applied the term treason as if it were home hair coloring, and trashed St. George of Bush. Texas Governor Rick Perry today moved on to cement his position as the latest of the many Republican voodoo candidates. Our fifth story on the countdown, Perry lying on climate change and apparently, at least by one metric, about his own record of job creation. We'll start on the trail, where the governor offered up a gobbet of conservative red meat on the subject of global warming.
I do believe that the issue of global warming has been politicized. I think that there are a substantial number of scientists who have manipulated data so that they will have dollars rolling into their projects.
When you don't know, just make it up like that. About what one might expect from the governor of a state that leads the nation in carbon dioxide emissions, hazardous waste, and cancer-causing chemicals released into the air. And bringing a smile to the face of anti-tax crusader and climate change denier Grover Norquist, who set off Governor Perry. If Perry was president, one of the things I'd not worry about is a carbon tax. I'd worry about big spiders eating New Jersey first. Actually, that's Chris Christie's problem, along with whether or not to join the GOP crowd that's running for president, more on his stealth candidacy presently. First, Perry took on a perennial conservative complaint, the Department of Education.
I don't think the federal government has a role in your children's education. And that's one of the things that I hope to be able to do is working with Congress and trying to make Washington, as I said, as inconsequential in your lives as we can.
Tell the governor of his mistake there, and that education is entirely controlled by the states, and he would probably respond, "See, I accomplished that already." Governor Perry's already tried to make education as inconsequential as he could in the lives of Texas school children, with billions in budget cuts to schools there. The state is 43rd out of 50 in its high school graduation rate, 45th in SAT scores for college-bound students, and last in its percentage of the population 25 and over with high school diplomas. Perry's rough start as a presidential candidate has caused comment on the right. His verbal assault on Fed Chairman Bernanke did not go over well with George W. Bush's former brain and current Fox News contributor Karl Rove.
Yeah, bad way to start. You don't want to accuse the Federal Reserve Chairman of being guilty of a crime punishable by death, which is what treason is. I thought Governor Perry was, not very adept in his remarks.
Rove did, however, like the way that Perry refused to let himself be baited by the New York Times into repeating those remarks. Rove says Perry has learned his lesson. And Perry continues to hammer on his main claim to the White House, his record on creating jobs.
We need to be focused on jobs in this country. We need to be focused on getting our economy working again. And I got a track record on doing that.
Not a good one. More than 40% of all new American jobs since June 2009 were indeed created in Texas. That's one metric, but here's another one. The Texas unemployment rate has actually gone up by 0.5% in that period, and when you compare job growth in Texas to other states adding jobs and you account for overall growth in the state's labor force, Texas comes out dead last, along with Florida and Tennessee. Michigan, New York, and Pennsylvania come out best, and this is the thing about statistics. Michigan is there, alas, because so many people who were working have left Michigan. To round out the Perry record with a few more numbers, Texas leads the nation in the percentage of children with no medical insurance. Its poverty rate is the 4th highest in the 50 states, and it pulled out a tie with Mississippi last year for the state with the largest number of minimum wage workers. Joining me now on Governor Perry, the Washington Post political reporter Nia Malika Henderson. It's good to see you in person.
Yes, good to be here.